Hello. Welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's number one mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Hello.
Recording this the afternoon of June 10th. The Celtics currently hold a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals after a big win over the Dallas Mavericks last night. And I'm not going to be nervous, or I'm not going to not be nervous until the confetti falls. I mean, this series has really made me lose my mind, even though we've kind of won both games in not too nerve-wracking fashion. But yeah, we really just need to get this done. So no podcast since the start of the finals, so we'll go through both games. Well, let's just start game one. Opening up, Porzingis is back. What'd you think from the jump last
I
Thursday or whatever it was?
Porzingis was fabulous, right? What a burst of
Yeah.
energy he was. I just thought I think coming off the bench was a great. Yeah, not putting him in the starting lineup I thought was fantastic. But he just gave a burst of energy. I thought he played so well defensively. I mean, I think his defensive effort was as good as I've seen all year long at the
Yeah.
rim. I mean, I thought he was just really good on both ends. So for me, he was the huge pleasant surprise.
And moving well immediately. You could never
Yes.
tell he
Yeah.
was out. There was
No.
no testing the
Yeah.
jump, or he looked pretty healthy. I mean, obviously we'll get to last night where he tweaked something else, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I agree. But on the other side, I mean, the Mavericks did such a terrible job at the beginning. They gave him every switch right at the foul line. Like,
Yeah.
have you not watched? I guess it's hard when you don't know what his status is, but like, had they not watched
Yes.
anything all year? Like, that's what he does. Small guy,
Agreed.
free throw line. Thank you. I'll
Yes.
take another one.
Yeah.
And in second half they did adjust, and he only scored 2 points, but they just gave it to him over and over again, and that's really
Yes.
what blew open the game.
Yeah. And they came in prepared game too. I mean, I will say that they did
Yeah,
adjust
of
and
course.
it was a
Yeah.
um different game too. Yeah, I think third quarter, a little worried. We came out
Yeah,
in
when you get
that
to 8, you're like, oh
Celtic
no.
flat-footed fashion where it was like,
Yeah.
what is going on? I
Hmm.
know you were up big, but you aren't anymore. You gotta step
Yes.
up.
A
So it was
little
a little
sleepwalk through the
nerve-wracking.
third,
Yeah,
but they stepped
nerve-wracking
right
there.
back up, and
Yeah,
before you knew it, it was 20 again. I look up the score, like, how are we up 20?
agreed.
Yeah, there was
Um,
a slight sky is falling moment, but
yeah. And Jaylen Brown was fantastic too. I thought
yeah,
defensively and offensively, he's
yeah. I mean, his
been
defense
really good.
this whole playoffs, really. I mean,
Yeah,
in a year, he's just stepped up defensively, I thought.
yeah.
I think that's been a real emphasis of his, and he's taken on so many different assignments, regular season playoffs, different guys, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's been
I mean, everybody
fantastic,
shot pretty well. I mean,
with the
Jason Tatum
exception of
struggled, but
Tatum. Yeah.
I think that's to be expected, right? They know his game. They put the best defender on him. They double and triple team him. I don't, it shocks me when the media and everybody's still kind of harping on him. It's to be expected at this point. The
Well, this is
directive
also who
should
he's
be,
been, like, all
yeah, yeah,
playoffs. Like,
yeah. But he is. You watch him when he goes to the hoop, he sometimes has three people on him.
yeah.
Um,
And
and
to his
so
credit, he's making the right play most of the
yeah,
time at this point.
100%. I mean, in the
It's
first game, he had 11 rebounds. I mean, he's still doing what he should and still working hard. I think
it's
he's,
almost ironic because it's like he's flipped players though. It's like he used to be such a elite shot maker,
yeah,
but struggled with passing and his other things, and now he can't. He's lost all confidence in his shot, but he does everything else. It's like, what?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't understand how that happens.
And I don't know if it's he's lost. I mean, I don't think he's shooting the three as well as he has in his career. We all know that, but I do think that there is a make the right play kind of attitude for him that he doesn't always have the best shot. When he has two people on him, it's not the best shot if somebody's open. And I think you're right. He has turned into this person that is willing to give that pass and,
Yeah. I mean that
um,
I'll push back a little there because by the end of game two, he had lost confidence in his shot. He had some open looks and he did not want to shoot. I mean,
yeah,
he hit that three in the corner at the end and he was
yeah,
like, thank God that went in because he just he definitely just doesn't. You can tell he's just not he
Yeah.
just doesn't have a he's always been a streaky shooter, but it's been a while since he's been on a hot streak, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think mentally he's feeling that and making the right play in other ways, as you said, and doing so many
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
But
But the
the
three
shooting's
has been
just
an
not there,
important
and it
part
hasn't been.
of
Yeah.
the three has been an important part of his offense, and he hasn't this season, and especially in the postseason, he hasn't shot well. And so
No.
that draws, they have to guard him tighter out there. That draws them out. Then he's able to get more open looks in the lane, and it
Correct.
hasn't been there. So I think that his whole offense has to change at this point because the three's just not falling for him. So therefore he has to work harder, to get going in the lane. Um, and he needs to switch his focus. I agree. He has that look on his face like he is not, even when we're up big, not having fun, not enjoying what we're doing at times. And I think he's got to change that focus and now just be focused on winning the championship and being super happy that they're on their way to winning the
I think he
championship.
is.
Yeah.
I think yeah. I
Yeah.
think
And the press is hard on him. Fans are hard on him.
yeah.
Without him, we probably would not be here. So
No, I mean
I
guaranteed,
think you just
obviously.
have to grab onto that and go with it. But there are times
Yeah.
when, yeah, he is struggling
Well, game two
with,
wasn't just the shooting, 6 turnovers too, and some of those were pretty ugly.
he didn't have
Um,
six. Brown
yeah, he
had
did.
six, I thought. Oh, in the first
First
game.
game one?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tatum had
First game.
6.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, yeah, I thought game two was much better for him that way. Shooting
Sure,
wise,
yeah.
not quite, but I think game two, he
Both
really looked
both game one,
a
both
little more
Brown and
confident.
Tatum, but more Tatum had some pretty erratic passing.
Yes. Yeah. But again, Porzingis is back. That sort of changes how they've been
Mhm.
playing. And so I do think that, again, adjusting to that. But all in all, I mean, you can complain, you can't really
Yeah.
complain. They blew him out in the end. It was, yeah.
Well, and the thing that no one is really talking about, I think, is the defense. I mean,
Hmm.
that's been what we've really won these games with.
Phenomenal.
Uh,
Absolutely
yeah.
phenomenal. And
One, I
this is a
mean,
good matchup for us, isn't it? This
it
is a
is.
good matchup for us. And it is
Well,
all about matchups. This is a good one.
yeah. And it has been, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
get, I watched a decent amount of Mavericks playoff games, and um, they did have slightly kind of more ball movement and stuff, but this is who they've been, like, especially in the
Yeah.
regular season against the Celtics for sure. It's a
Yeah.
Luka isolation pick and roll every single time. You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they go away from that, they're not very good. So they don't really have other options. I
Yeah.
mean, Kyrie has been bad. Um, and
It just
I
makes
just
you
think,
focus on was the offense in the West what was so spectacular and the defense just wasn't that good? Is that what happened in those games maybe? And
yeah. Well,
and it just
but
goes to show how good our defense can be.
sure,
I mean,
but that would that theory would make sense if the Timberwolves didn't have the number one defense all year. They have the number one ranked defense.
yeah, it's
They
weird.
just
It's
toasted
very
them.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what.
and it's matchup too. I mean, who does
Yeah,
Gobert really match up against? I mean,
correct.
right? I mean, there's no
They don't
offensive
have the guys
player
to
that
guard the guards, I guess.
yes,
But they have
exactly.
McDaniels
Exactly.
and Edward. I don't
Good
know. Very just
good rim
bad. I don't know.
protection.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Um,
But anyway, hey, I'll take it. I'm excited.
yeah. Game one, I mean, shot pretty well. Couple of clutch Hauser threes. I mean, that one sequence where Hauser hits the three, Porzingis hits the three, we break it
Yeah.
open to like 17. I mean,
Yeah.
um, that's just
Yeah.
what we do. And the more we can get in the transition and get steals and blocks and get running, the better we look.
Yeah. Um, yeah, not much else. I think
Yeah, any
Porzingis
other
was a
game
very
one
big
thoughts? I don't have
surprise.
too much.
Nope. I don't think there was a lot to say.
No, I mean, yeah,
And all in all, I didn't think the Mavericks played all that well.
no.
I just, in general, I don't think they looked that good. And our defense was very good, but offensively, other than Porzingis and Jalen Brown, I mean, we weren't brilliant. Our
Yeah.
shots were
I
falling
mean,
for a
in
while there.
game
I
one,
mean,
in game one, Derek Jones Jr. was abysmal. I don't know what he
yeah,
was doing out there.
yes, yeah,
Defensively, got
yeah,
blocked a couple
yeah,
times at the rim, just
yeah,
afraid to shoot. He was really bad.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Kyrie. Are we
yeah.
just that good at defense on him? Because he has been playing extremely well. And for 2 games now, he has struggled. He is
Again, that's
struggling.
matchups. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
if you go
I
back, look at the Timberwolves. Like, who do they have? Conley to guard him. I mean, unless you're going to put Edwards or McDaniels on him, those two kind of on Luca.
yeah. Yeah.
Then they, I mean, good luck. We
Yeah.
have Holiday, White. I mean, Jalen. Jalen had
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
sequence on Kyrie where he just completely shut him down. They
Yeah.
isolated the whole side for Kyrie and just
Yeah.
he traveled in the end. I mean,
Yeah. And he looks tired by the end of the game. Like tired.
yeah, I mean,
I mean,
he's
they
also
all
all
did
in his
last
head.
night.
He's
Yeah.
chirping with the
They
fans. It's
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's
They
just
they did last night as well, both Kyrie
yeah.
and Luca. Well, we did too. I think we all looked tired last night. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all we have for game 1.
yeah, agreed. I mean, not too much to say when you really blow them out.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, we can get to last night's game, game 2, a little closer, pretty close throughout. I think. I mean, the Celtics maybe got it up to 12 at the most or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I just this was such a huge win
Yes.
to not shoot well, 25% from 3 and still put these. I mean, this is the stinker that we usually lose. And
You
this
know,
was the Mavs' key to get a game in Boston. Was we were cold. Luka looks good at the beginning, and it looked
yeah,
like this is the game that can keep it close to the end and then pull away, and it just
yeah,
did
yeah.
not happen.
And you know who shot worse at 3 than us?
They did.
They did. They were 23%. And it's so funny how in the beginning it just felt like they were hitting the threes and they just were, but yeah, it was just so funny when I looked at the percentage how low. And I knew they weren't shooting as well the
Well, it's
second
only
half, but
Luka. Luka's the only guy. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
Kyrie can hit him when he's open, but he's never open. We
yeah,
stick on him like glue. And the
yeah.
rest of the
No, our
guys, they'll
defense
just
is
let
phenomenal.
shoot. PJ Washington had a great series against OKC from 3, but I think that's an anomaly.
Yeah,
And we've taken away the corner 3 too, which is kind of their bread and butter.
yeah.
There's not many open corner threes, and the other guys we're just letting shoot. Um,
Yeah, yeah, no, they just and part of it is I think in the second half wearing them down. If we run, Luca
oh
cannot keep up with
no,
us. He can't.
that's the thing
He's
for
the
Luka.
last person
Yeah,
down the court. If he is going to look back on the season, there's one thing that that guy should be working on, and that is he needs to get into the gym.
conditioning. Yeah,
He needs to work on his conditioning. And it's funny because I think we talked about this last time. He and Jokic play the same way, even offensively, very easy, right? It's not like they're using their whole body getting in there. They're just that fadeaway jump
yeah.
shot doesn't take a lot out of you. But as far as making it up and down the court and playing a little bit of defense, I mean, he's a liability on defense. He many times does not make it
Got blown
down all the
by.
way. Yeah.
Well, also just gets blown by. Tatum blows
One of
by him
the
and then kicks to the
last
corner. And
people, one of the last people back on defense. Um, yeah, so that I do think that's a big liability. And he shot, horribly. Very few. He shot less, but not as well in the second half. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's exhaustion. I think it's,
the free throws were huge. He was 4 for 8
yes,
from the line. That
yeah,
killed them.
yeah,
Gafford was
yeah,
1 for 4. I mean, they
yeah,
just really
yeah.
struggled from the
For
line
some
as well.
reason,
66% to our
yeah,
95. We shot
yeah,
19 for 20.
yeah.
Um,
And I don't think we looked fantastic this game either.
no, we did
We
not at
had,
all. That's the point. We won the game and
Drew
we did not
Holiday
look
had a
good.
great game.
He was fantastic. Yeah.
And I think Jaylen Brown had a great game. I mean, there are moments of it. He had some turnovers and
Yeah,
some bad
he was
passes that were
good.
very obvious.
6
But
turnovers, not great,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Luka had
Other than that,
8. Oof.
yeah, yeah. But other than that, he played very well, I thought, very
Yeah, I agree.
forceful and stepped up on defense when he needed
Defensively,
to.
I mean,
And
him and
yeah,
Drew just
yeah,
hound Luka the whole game. That's part of him getting tired. It's like
yeah,
those guys are going to guard you. Those guys can play and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
athletic and they're not going to let you get away with anything.
yeah. And because they guard Tatum, double team and all, Drew's left open. How many times did Drew have a wide open shot that he made? Him cutting. Who's on him? There was nobody on him half the time. It was so funny.
Yeah,
It's like Drew's awesome. Well, Drew doesn't have anyone on him most of the time when he's cutting. There's no defense around him. So that is the thing to remember about us. We're so deep. Who leaves Drew Holiday alone in a game? I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah, you can't.
No, it's like, yeah. And I'm not talking just threes. I'm talking inside the lane. How many open shots did he have? Quite a few.
Yeah, a lot of that set up by Tatum.
Yes, yes, because he
He was
draws.
well,
Yeah,
well, well. What they started doing is, we play a lot of 5 out where everyone's on the perimeter. But what they started to do is they put Drew in the corner and then have him shift down to the dunker spot
yeah,
below the baseline, and he was just open there again. And he's
yeah,
so good at finishing around the rim there, kind of both
yeah,
hands. He can do it either way. That Tatum drives, he gets the bounce pass, easy finish, and we did that quite a few times.
yeah. And he
Um,
said that in his interview. Did you see his interview when he was saying,
yeah.
Tatum gets the double team and makes the right play?
Hmm.
you know, so, and Tatum had 11 assists, right?
12.
Or 12 assists. Yeah, assists. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he shot abysmally. I feel bad.
Yeah, he
I
did.
do feel
He's
bad
doing
for him.
everything great except
I do
shooting.
feel
He's
bad. Yeah,
just can't shoot anymore. I don't know what
yeah,
is going on. It's
yeah,
like his
yeah.
shot is
It's a
just not
struggle.
falling.
It's a
It looks like
struggle.
the Tatum from like a few years ago, especially finishing near the rim where he does that weird over and under thing and it never goes in.
Yeah,
It's like it also
yeah,
frustrates me. Like he should just be dunking on people. Just
yeah,
go and be like, you gotta foul me or I'm gonna dunk the ball.
yeah,
That like weird kind of like scoop layup is like
yeah,
not working.
yeah. And they do.
Um,
Like I said, when he goes to the rim, you watch. There are at least two people on him, if not
yeah.
three at times. I mean, he
Well, and yeah,
does.
and usually he'll make the right play and pass,
Yeah,
and then we're open.
yeah.
And today we didn't hit a lot of them. I
He's
mean,
covered.
no
Yeah,
one shot well from three,
yeah,
25%.
yeah.
No
Agreed.
one on our team shot more than 50%. And that was Pritchard, who was 1 for 2 with a prayer at the end of the third. Uh,
The bank.
yeah, that was one of our few
Yeah,
threes. I mean,
yeah,
10, that was one of them. And then
yeah,
Derek White had that end of the shot clock prayer too. I mean,
yeah,
um, we did not
yeah.
shoot well and
No,
still were able to pull it out.
yeah. And the,
That's
and the
massive.
announcers kept saying that, right, Doris? And we're saying complain, saying we weren't hitting our threes, we weren't over, but we're still either tied with them, three behind, or when we did
Yeah,
not
it
look
didn't
good.
matter. We hit a couple when we needed to,
Yep,
timely at the end there, and that was a
yep,
wrap. I mean,
yep. And then they
um,
faded. I mean, Kyrie never really got started, but then Luca just faded. He
they
didn't.
had the chance.
Yeah,
Obviously, the huge block on PJ Washington
yeah,
that would have cut it to what 3, I think, if he made that.
yeah,
Um, I still can't say I loved our end of game offense. It's like they throw on the break way too early.
yeah,
It's like we're up like 12 with like 4.5 minutes left, and we're like, all right, we're gonna just wind down every possession to the end of the shot clock. It's like, how about you just run an offense and get a good shot? It's like,
yeah,
why are we trying to time manage with 4 minutes left? We're only up 12, and they have Luka Doncic,
yeah,
and then they got it down to 5, and you're thinking, here we go, but a couple clutch plays, and that we
yeah,
were able to salvage it.
yeah. Still a little
Um,
shaky there, but we
yes,
did it.
but we won. That's good. I mean, that it's so massive because I'm not sure the Mavericks are going to get another game where we shoot 25%. I mean,
I hope not, right?
no, I mean, me neither, but it's not like our percentages
I
dip on the
hope
road
not.
that much,
Yeah,
if at all.
yeah, I hope not,
Um,
because that was not good.
the other noteworthy point for this game is Porzingis getting injured. Apparently it's his other leg, other like
Yeah,
ankle or calf, so it's not the injury that he already had, but he seemed fine after the game. He said he was playing game 3 and he was ready to
yeah.
go and it was
Yeah, well, you
minor, but
kind of have to at this point. I do like his attitude. I like that he has come out and he played hard. There did not
yeah,
that first game, he did not seem to be holding back at
you
all.
have
And
to.
you do. You're in the finals at this point.
Yeah.
Like
It's the
you,
NBA finals. Like
yes,
there's
yes,
nothing else
yes.
to play
And
for.
he
There's
gave us
no
a great push in game 1. A great push. So, I'm just glad that he's out there doing what he can and he has that
yeah.
kind of can-do attitude. I don't want to see him get hurt. I do think the minute he
No.
starts hobbling, you take him out. I get that.
I was
But I
losing my
do
mind at the TV. I'm like screaming at Joe Mazzulla. I'm
you
like, call a timeout. I'm
use a
screaming in my
timeout
room.
when you
Like
see him.
4 possessions.
Yeah.
He's
And so,
clearly limping. They scored on him twice. And you're like,
yes,
I was losing my mind. I could
yes,
not believe it.
yes, yes. What are you saving the timeouts for? And if I'm Porzingis, I'm just stopping, right? The minute I start hobbling, I'm just
Wait,
done. You need to
yeah,
take
I
me out.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. It just needs to happen.
Yeah, he played
Uh,
23 minutes last night. I think 20 in game one. 21 game one, 23 tonight. That's fine. That's all. That's really all we need. Al can play the rest of those.
I
He can give us
agreed.
those. Gives
He
Al
just
some
doesn't run the
rest.
floor, I think, as well as Al. I enjoy, he's a very different defensive player. And I do think that they sort of have figured him out. Unlike the first game, I think they figured out how to play around
Sure,
Porzingis
but
a
still,
little better.
just the rim protection, the
Oh,
threat at the
absolutely. And
basket
even
is
his
just a
shooting.
game changer. Yeah,
He's, 57% he shot last night. So absolutely.
yeah,
I,
0 for
I
3 from
he's,
three, but
yeah,
uh,
but I'll take the short little jumpers. That's
no,
fine. At least
absolutely,
it's
yeah.
somebody else that they have to figure out guarding. It's a key piece.
He
So
had our
yeah,
biggest plus minus plus 12.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well, it scrambles the defense. I will say when he was out there, there were a couple times they did not have their starters out. So I think that
Yeah, of course.
kind of,
But that's kind of what gives you the edge is he's coming off the bench and he's
yes,
way better than any
100%.
of the bench guys they have. So good luck.
100%, 100%. Still loving Joe Mazzulla's subbing plan. There are times when I feel
I think
like
it's been fine.
Jaylen Brown gets really tired, and that's
Yeah.
part of his 6 turnovers is he's exhausted. Like, okay, he's playing the toughest defense. He's working hard on offense. He needs to sit a little bit. And he may not want to, but there is a point where, his passes become sloppy. He needs to sit down. So I think he's one of the ones that he does not sit enough for me anyway, at times. But yeah, all in all, I don't think you can ask for a do not let your guard down. This is the
No.
finals, and you're playing a team with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and they can get hot at any moment. So
And now they're home.
yeah, and this game was
And
close. You're right. I mean, this wasn't a blowout. It could have turned
yeah,
at any point in the fourth quarter. So
it fit. I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel there were a couple times towards the end
panicky,
there I get a
but
little nervous, but
yeah, didn't feel
and there were
panicky.
and there were opportunities for us to kind of blow it open, and we just didn't
Mhm.
hit our threes. I mean, so many times. So you hit a couple more threes in this game, and instead of
Yeah,
up 12, you're up 18, and then it's
yeah.
over. So, um, you know, struggling in so many ways and still kind of winning without
Yeah.
too much of a fight, I just think is demoralizing for them. It's like, I mean, we kind of got the game we needed from them and we still couldn't pull through.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they bring. Maybe, it's possible a lot of their other guys step up at home versus on the road, some of those younger role guys, but I don't know. Through two
Well,
games, it just doesn't look like they have the guys. Like,
it is interesting that I think if you watch some of the other games that the Mavs played, Luco didn't shoot so much in the first quarter. It was some of the other guys were a lot more involved in the offense initially.
yes.
And so I think the last couple of games, Luke has really kind of taken over in that first quarter, which I didn't see it quite as much in
Well,
some of
the
the other
reason
games.
the reason being we don't double.
Yes.
When
Yeah,
you double
exactly.
him, we
Yes.
doubled
Yes.
him a
You don't
few
double.
times this game, and
Yeah.
he immediately
Yeah.
threw that
Yeah.
lob. He immediately
Well,
finds the
I
guy.
think that's what wore him out was they really did a good job, I think, chasing him because he's not a fast dribbler. It's not like he's super fancy. And they
No, no,
poked
no.
the ball away from behind a couple times. So I think
Yeah,
that we started doubling in a very different way. You put a
yeah.
second person on him
It wasn't like a
and
blitz off of his pick and roll. It
exactly.
was kind of later in the
Exactly.
shot clock poke
Yeah.
kind of.
Yes. Yes. And he was tired by that point too. I mean, it's a long game, and he played
Well,
a
I
lot
think
of
that's the
minutes.
strategy is don't
Yeah.
let the other guys kill you.
Yeah.
Luca go crazy, but he's gonna fade. He can't just score every point in the game. He's not gonna score
No.
100 points and win the
No.
game by himself.
Yeah. No.
Um, and that combined with Kyrie kind of just being a real non-factor is, uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
really kind of swung it our way in the
I mean,
first two
a couple good
games.
shots, but yeah, he needs to step it up if they're going to do anything. If you don't have anybody
Yeah,
else
like they
stepping it
don't
up,
have the other
then
guys. They just
yeah,
don't. Those
yeah,
are their two, and that's what everyone talked about. They're gonna have the two best players in the series, and blah blah blah. It's like okay, well,
yeah,
they got Luca, but that's about it so far.
yeah. Well, and even he, like I said, his conditioning is not good. I
Yeah,
don't think it's good. Um, he's an incredible player. Don't get me wrong; he plays very, very well. He's excellent, but he is not conditioned at all.
no, and their team just don't play like a team. It's Luca and the team.
Yeah,
They kind of get a little predictable eventually. Like it's gonna be Luca again. Oh, this is Kyrie's turn. It's very, we've complained in the past about the Celtics kind of my turn basketball, and this team is my turn personified. That's all they do.
yes, yeah.
Um,
And the reason he has so many turnovers is some of those passes, everyone's, oh my God, he's so good. He didn't look. But there were some not so good passes that he did
yeah,
with the not looking as well. And it's kind of
hmm
funny. Um, funny watching him. Like, you're so lucky. Some of those were not, I don't know, very interesting. But yeah, not a lot. I think a big upside for us. Porzingis coming back in game 3 would be excellent. I think that you would
Sounds
see,
like he's
I
gonna
think
play.
I think him coming in does make a huge difference for
Yeah,
us and
and you
and
get the
sort of
extra day of
makes
rest.
them shift their defense a little bit on him, right?
Yeah,
And I thought they played him better this time. I thought they really he's quite interesting because if you put a good shorter defender on him at the foul line, it's not quite as easy for him to score because he is kind of this weird
yeah.
brings the ball lower. Doesn't mean once he gets it over his head, he's not going to make it, but he does kind of bring it low a little bit. And I
Well,
thought a
I
few
think he
times
does that on purpose.
to try and
He's
get the
baiting
foul.
the foul. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I thought they covered him well, you know, a couple times, watching and
Yeah.
knowing how he plays this game much better than they did the first game.
Yeah. Well, they also have to get him in the pick and roll defensively more, bring him out.
Yeah.
Because a couple times Luca got some open threes because he's in drop coverage. It still just blows my mind
Yeah.
why they do that. But
I know the one person you want to cover at 3.
yeah, I know. It's
Luka.
like that's the
I,
guy.
I'd
Anytime
almost let the
he's
person
open, I'm
going to
like
the hoop
losing my
have the
mind.
ball.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's the guy you have to cover. Nobody else.
The one person you cover at 3 right now is that
Yes.
guy. Yeah. But he's just got such a good fadeaway and he's so tall, for a guard. He's tough. He's tough to guard.
Yep.
But yeah, that's about all I have to say. I think we've done what we were supposed to do. We're playing hard defense. I don't think our offense is as good as I've seen it in the
Yeah,
past.
it's
So
good. That's the
hopefully,
scary part. Is it's like there's a whole
hope,
nother
yeah,
level we could get
yeah,
to, and
yes,
if we get to that level in these next 2 games, I mean, it's a
yes,
sweep.
yes,
It's
yeah.
uh,
I mean,
at
we're
this
only
point, we can really only beat
105,
ourselves.
107. They're not high scoring games at all, right?
No, I mean the
So
Mavericks haven't broken 100, 98 and
yeah,
89.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's
Uh,
defense. I mean, yeah, I think
yeah, that
yeah,
is all
yeah,
defense. I mean,
yeah, working
yeah,
hard.
Drew's just been outstanding. He'd be my pick for MVP so far.
I know. I think that's
Um,
the look on Tatum's face in the middle of the game,
yeah,
thinking, that's got to be so hard, right?
yeah. Well, he's a favorite
Especially,
you're a favorite to win the award coming in, and
yeah, especially after Jalen won
gets the
Eastern
Eastern
Conference. So
Conference.
you're
Yeah, you can't
already,
lose
and you're
both of
trying,
those.
you're
Yeah.
trying not to be a head case. I mean, I think he's a pretty level-headed kid,
Yeah,
but
yeah. He's
the
done a good job, but you
accolades
can just
that
tell
he
deep down
gets
he's
from
like,
the minute he came into the league, it is hard not to think about it and to, I don't envy him. Um,
yes. But
looking
he
at
does
that and
try. He
feeling.
has done his best to kind of.
Yeah, I think he is trying to be as level-headed as he can, but it does
Yeah,
throw you off, right?
it
Six,
just the body
16
language
points. Yeah,
tells you kind of what's going on. You can just tell
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
It's like, man, I just missed another one.
yeah.
Oof.
But there's also end of the game coming out. I don't know, big smile games that he has, and I just don't feel like he has those big smile games.
I don't think he's had one on all
Yeah,
playoffs.
agreed. I just
That's the
don't think
problem.
he's. Yeah,
That's why I think he's just
yeah,
lost confidence at this point because it's been so long since he's
yeah,
had one of those games.
yeah.
It's like those just aren't there anymore, which is crazy to think that we're this far without him having
And
one of those
again,
games.
this is playoffs last year. They have figured out offensively, he's not hard to figure out offensively. I
Well,
think he is super
okay.
strong, but defending him, a really good
You I,
defender. He's
I do
not
think you're
that hard.
forgetting he had 50 points in a game 7 elimination game against the Sixers last year.
Yes, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
but he doesn't that hasn't happened this
for
year.
the
There's no
most part, he's
yeah.
they've teams have been able to figure out how to
Sure,
guard
but
him and how to
like I
shut him
said,
down.
when
And
you
that's been
have that
top priority is mess Tatum up, and then
but that
in the
strategy is just
past
not
anyway.
working.
Yes, agreed,
Like
agreed. We
everyone
have
else,
other
we're too
pieces.
good this year.
We have
Yeah,
other
it's
pieces.
like
Yes, yeah, yeah. But it's not surprising that that's top priority on offenses.
no, of course
Go
not.
after
And that
him.
I mean,
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Leave him open? I dare you. I mean, can't just leave
agreed.
that guy because as soon as
No,
he gets
you
hot,
can't
you're in real
change it.
trouble.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Once he starts driving with only one person on him, he's going to make them. So,
every time. Yeah,
of
he's just gonna
course, of
dunk the
course.
ball.
Yes, he's very good. Yeah, yeah.
What I don't understand is why they don't post him up. Like
He's never been that, and has been my complaint for years, is why he can't move off the ball and we can't feed him better off the ball.
yeah.
Posting up
Well, we
inside the
did
lane.
post him up in the
He's
regular
so
season.
skilled. Sometimes. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not
but
really his
I just
offense.
don't know why we don't
Most
go
of
to
his
that. They double
offense.
him in the post up. He passes
Yeah.
out the same
Yeah.
way. You could do the same stuff he does from a post up.
I mean, he essentially many times is our point guard, right? I mean, he's the guy that starts with the ball at the top of the key.
Hmm.
I mean, that's really how the offense starts a lot of the time. Hence, Drew not having many assists. One of the point guards on our team does not, because he doesn't handle the ball very
Well,
often.
he's in the dunker spot, the corner
Yeah,
in the dunker
yeah,
spot, which
yeah.
has been great for him. I
Yes.
mean, he's really thrived in that role.
But I agree. If he ever figures out how to move off the ball or away from the ball and posts up and is moving more, that opens up a whole other side of his offense. That he's so skilled under there and so strong and so long that agreed. We just have never really focused on that.
Yeah.
Or
Plus
they
other
have not
guys. I
focused on
mean,
that.
that'd be a whole thing for other teams. Tatum's behind the basket. You keep kind of turning your head, and guys are coming. I
Agreed.
mean, that would be
Easy to guard you when you're starting at the top of the key
yeah.
with the
It's keyed
ball.
in on you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like harder to guard when you're trying to keep up with him running around. I mean, I
Exactly.
agree.
I 100% agree.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would open up another whole part of his offense. He's so skilled and so long and so strong under there that, you know, but like I said, I don't think we focused on it enough. And you got Derek White, Andrew Holiday, good passers, good people with the
Yeah.
ball, good, good at feeding
Can also
people.
shoot, can also create
Yes.
scoring. I
Yes.
mean, they
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of do it all as well.
Yeah. It's
And
interesting.
that's why we're up 2-0 because we have all
Yes.
these guys. I
We
mean, it's
do have a
just an
lot of
embarrassment of
pieces.
riches.
Yes.
It's like,
We have a-
just
yeah.
looking when you just look. I mean, yeah. All everyone talked about before the series is the best backcourt. They got the two best guys. It's like, well, we have the next 8. I mean, like, who on their
Yes.
team would you take over anybody on our?
Yes.
I mean,
The two best
like,
guys, the two best backcourt that can't play
yeah.
defense. They're one-sided players, really, right? They're
Would
not great
would
defenders.
anyone on the Mavericks besides PJ Washington play minutes for the Celtics? Maybe Gafford and Lively. I don't think so. I don't think any of these guys would play for us.
I don't think they use Gafford and Lively. They have that same, Lucas starts with the ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he can be a good passer, but
in the other
they
series, they had the lob threat, and we've just taken that away. Like, we're just going to play you straight up. We're not going to switch. We're going to switch. We're not going to, hedge and let the roller
Yeah.
go, and
Yeah.
they can't.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get to that lob game, and
Yeah. I think they
that's kind
did
of taken out all
had
their
it
offense. Although
once
Gafford was
with
pretty good in game
Washington.
2.
Um,
No, not with
somebody
Washington. He was more of a corner
wasn't
3
Washington.
guy.
Who had the dunk, wide open dunk in the middle? Was that Gafford? Somebody had
No,
a
that
good
was
one.
Washington, I
Luca had a
think.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
where
was
they
it Washington?
ooped
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was PJ Washington. But yeah, I guess we're being picky, aren't we?
As I said, I'm not
Nitpicking.
gonna not be nervous until we win, until it's all
Yeah.
pen to paper, 4 games.
This is a game I also feel bad for Kyrie. I do. He's got to be just not feeling
If we
great.
can win this, I'll put it to rest. If we can win this series, put the Kyrie stuff behind us, and
Yeah.
we got the last laugh.
Yeah.
But
I do feel bad.
until
Just
then, pour it on. 2 more games. We need those 2 wins, and then
yeah.
we can let you off the hook, Kyrie.
Yeah. I think they get one of the next 2.
Yeah, I mean, if I was
100%.
a
I
betting
would be
man, but
shocked if they didn't win one of the next 2. But
I wouldn't be shocked.
I think last game was close enough that I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
but we
see.
shot
On the
25% from
road,
3. Like,
we'll be on the road,
yeah, but
not a home court
we've been a better
advantage.
road team than a home
Yeah.
team. We've only
Yeah.
lost home. We're undefeated on the road in the
Yeah.
playoffs. We haven't lost the
Yeah.
road game.
Yeah. I would be shocked if they win 4 straight. It would be shocking to me.
I would
I'd
say
be
if I was a
happy.
betting
I'd
man,
be happy,
I wouldn't
but
bet
I would
on
be,
it, but I
yeah.
wouldn't be shocked. I think
Yeah.
think we got too many guys to throw at them.
Yeah. Too many offensive threats.
Yep.
So what do? Do you cover Drew now?
No, I mean,
Okay, guys. Now, because you got to come in. What's your new plan? Do the Mavs.
but it's not
coming
like
in.
Drew was capitalizing on opportunities created by others. It's not like he was
Yes.
many times initiating his offense.
Oh no, 100%. But
Which makes it so hard to stop because you don't even
change your defensive
yeah, how do
strategy
you
because
stop
you
that?
have to.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
think about it, we didn't even shoot well,
Yeah.
and we won. I mean,
But
that
they got to
wasn't even
change
our
their
greatest
offensive
offense.
strategy. They got to get to
Yes.
100 points. You're never going to beat the Celtics if you can't score 100 points ever.
Agreed.
Come on.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on Kyrie because I'm not sure who else is gonna. PJ Washington, I guess he's had some good games.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah,
had
Derek
17.
Jones has been pretty brutal. He airballed that 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're other than
he's
Luca,
given them
their
nothing.
threes. I mean,
Kleber was
yeah.
terrible. Oof, he was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lively.
I don't know what the answer is. I say Celtics keep on rolling.
I say Celtics keep on rolling. Let's sweep them. Come on, we can do it. I believe.
That would be awesome.
That would be
I would
amazing.
enjoy that
Friday
thoroughly.
night, this Friday,
Yeah,
Celtics
I
win the
would
title.
thoroughly
Come
enjoy
on.
a sweep at this point. And I think we can do it. I just wouldn't be surprised if we lost one.
Yeah. We haven't lost in a month.
I mean, same thing. Kyrie's got to get hot at some point from 3, right? His percentages were pretty good previous to this. So
who knows?
I don't know.
But so do we. I mean,
yes. Yeah.
That's the point. Even if they shoot well, we might shoot better.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we'll see. When was it? Wednesday, Friday, I think this week.
Yes. Yep. Could be all done.
It's too long between games.
Yes.
Just agonizing.
Agreed.
I try to keep it out of my head.
Yeah.
I'm done with all the coverage. Done hearing Perk change his mind every game about who he thinks is going to win.
He doesn't really have great analysis.
No, never. I mean, neither does anyone on ESPN at this point. It's brutal. It's like, who are these people?
Analysis.
How did Perk become the star of ESPN?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be here for all of it. We'll try to get one for each game this time.
Sponsor today is a little different. My friend,
unofficial sponsor. Maybe if the
Tanya
Celtics win a title, we can get an official sponsor.
Gave me this prebiotic soda.
Prebiotic soda by Myowell.
Yeah. Is a bubbly prebiotic soda with it's watermelon mint with currant. It's a little different. It's good.
Fun.
4 grams of natural sugar, and that's it. Nothing added. So I'm assuming, oh no, it does have 4 grams of sugar. Yeah. Anyway, it's very tasty. I'm working on my
Well,
gut biome.
today's unofficial sponsor, Maya Well. If you'd like to become the official sponsor of Shamrock Talk, let us know. It's not, doesn't take much, not expensive, and we'll advertise heavily.
All right.
Well, you can find us as usual, all platforms at Shamrock Talk on Instagram, Shamrock Pod on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the places, wherever you find us. We'll be here, hopefully celebrating more Celtics wins. We're so close. Come on. Can't take a loss now. You can't lose it now. It's up 2-0. Here we are. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.